Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Let's Play of Clue, or should I say Cluedo. In today's part 4 video, I'm going to be playing the Vampire Castle, which is the 4th board in this game. And by the 5th part will be Snowy Peaks, and we'll get to that much later in this LP. But for now, Vampire Castle, we're going to deal with the Vampire Castle characters such as Scarlet Vampire, Plum, the Vampire Hunter, or Mustard is the werewolf because he has some hair in his arms and chest. There's some issues with the internet connection. But what I was trying to say is that Green is Frankenstein, and of course Mrs. White as the ghost. So this is going to be a little bit difficult to choose, but for the sake of this LP, I think I'm gonna go with Scarlet Vampire. I'm gonna go with Scarlet as the vampire. The reason is because she looks flawed. Looks out that dress. Fitting to have her a vampire. Alright, just like in my previous Let's Plays, we're going to be playing as all the characters. Well, not all of them, but technically just one character that I choose is Scarlet. And then the rest White, so here we go. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're at the Vampire Castle. It looks a little bit scary, but not as much, but it definitely looks very, very interesting. And the spooky music does fit the tone of this board here. Hold on for a second. I gotta close this Steam app so that it won't slow down as much. There we go. Hopefully that'll be much better. Alright, let's see who goes first this time. Okay, so this time it was Mr. Green and not Colonel Mustard for 3 times. Not that I'm mad about it, but this is absolutely ridiculous. Alright, so Frankenstein is headed to the throne room, and he suggests that it was himself with the crossbow. Plum has one of these 3 cards. I don't know which one, but we have to wait and see. And I came up with some sort of story of the Vampire Castle version of Clue. It appears that Professor Plum may be a mad scientist, and he created Mr. Green, which is the Frankenstein monster, while the hunter, Mrs. Peacock, is hunting down werewolves and vampires. However, in my mind, I think that she may have a love interest towards Mustard, while she goes against Scarlet because she's a vampire. As for Mrs. White, I don't know. She may be the owner of this castle. It could be Miss Scarlet, but that's just me coming up with ideas of certain theorized stories. So Mustard suggests that Peacock did it with the amulet in the graveyard, and she has one of these cards. Well, I have Peacock, and she has one of the 2 cards. Unfortunately, I don't know which one yet. So unfortunately, I cannot, And speaking of cards, the cards that I have in my hand are Peacock, the Hunter, the Torch, which is the weapon, and of course, Peacock suggests that it was me, Miss Scarlet, with the silver billet in the throne room. However, Mrs. White has one of the cards, but I don't know which one. We have 3 X's on the throne room, so that may be my next, that might be the one thing that I need to focus on, which is rooms. We're just gonna have to wait and see. Sorry for stumbling. So in the lab, Plum suggests that it was Peacock. However, but one of the 5 or whatever may have some sort of card that could potentially, I don't have any words. Alright, so I roll an 8, because it's my turn. Let's stay in the throne room, because Peacock's telling me to suggest that I did the thing. Alright, so in the throne room, it could be Miss Peacock, the torch. I'm using this strategy just to see if this is the room, and it wasn't. So obviously the throne room is not one of the rooms where it takes place. So now it's Mrs. White's turn. She is a ghost, and she's headed to the crypt. How interesting. In the crypt, she suggests that it was green with the silver bullet. However, green has one of the cards. Well, yeah, one out of the 3 cards, but I don't know which one. So I just cannot guess what it is right now. So he headed to the secret passage from the crypt to the lab, where Professor suggests that it was Peacock with the torch. However, I have one of these cards. I will explain to him that that Peacock is not the murderer, even though I'm using the strategy to use Peacock as a suspect and potentially could be the killer. However, she's not, because I have that card. But I'm using that strategy method so that I can guess without randomly mess others as well. So Arnold suggests that Scarlet did it with the potion. What kind of potion? I don't know. But I can tell you right now that Plum has one of the 3 cards. But we don't know exactly which one. So now Peacock is wasting no time to roll a 7 as she stays in the lab, suggesting that it was me, Miss Scarlet, with the crossbow. It's interesting. The lab and the crossbow are the other things, I don't know what I'm saying. I do not know what I'm saying anymore. What I do know is that Plum is headed to the main entrance. And I gotta keep an eye on my reporter. He suggests that it was the ghost herself with the crossbow. However, Mrs. White has one of the 3 cards, and I don't know exactly what it is. Unfortunately. Alright, so now it is time to roll the dice. That's 11. Alright, so I think we should go to the lab. Well, I already in the lab in the first place. Because I want to see one of the rooms that it take place. Once again, going through the strategy tactics. So Mrs. White has the lab. She has the card room, which is the lab. And I cannot make an accusation yet. Because we still gotta figure out. So Mrs. White's in the main entrance to suggest that it was me with the potion. And of course, Mr. Green has one of the 3 cards. But it's uncertain which one, though. Alright, a 4 for Green. He heads to the graveyard. Very spooky. Outside the graveyard, he suggests that it was me with the potion. Seriously? Alright. So, let's see here. Mrs. Peacock does not have the potion. Mrs. Peacock does not have the Scarlet card, which means that the graveyard is the card that she has. This actually helps. Yes, this actually helps. Alright. So now graveyard is like not one of the rooms. So Colonel Mustard rolls a 7 to head to the throne room. And he suggests that it was green with a torch. Okay, so let me pay close attention. So I have the torch. Mrs. White has the throne room, which means that Mr. Green isn't the killer. Because Plum has the Mr. Green, Franken Green card. Or should I say Frankenstein? Either way, Mr. Green is not a suspect anymore. She suggests that it was me, Miss Scarlet, with the prospect. Alrighty then, so we don't know if Mrs. White has the main entrance, the crossbow, or even Miss Scarlet. So it could be either one or more of the 3 cards. Just gonna have to wait and see, as right now, it is Plum's turn with a roll of 5, and he heads to the graveyard to make a suggestion. It was Scarlet with the potion. Oh my goodness, it was Scarlet all along. Scarlet all along. Wow. Just wow. Wait a minute, what about the potion? What about the potion? I think what I need to do next is to head to the bedroom. I must head to the bedroom so I can know for sure if the potion was one of the murder weapons. And unfortunately, it doesn't help me one bit. I already know that the graveyard isn't one of the rooms, so I have no choice but to move a step forward, which means I will not make a suggestion or accusation. How unfortunate. But now I know that Scarlet was the killer. The question is, which room, and if the potion is one of the murder weapons. Alright, so Peacock has the graveyard. I have the torch, which means that Colonel Mustard has Mrs. White, the card itself. Alright, it's Green's turn with a roll of 6. He heads to the library. And he suggests that it was Mustard with the amulet. Alright, let me see here. Okay. I still know the killer because no one has the Scarlet card. It's definitely Scarlet. But now the main question is, I have the bedroom card, which means I have no choice but to show them. Now Peacock's turn. I think you only have to show it to one person while the rest didn't get to see it. I don't know. So in the kitchen, they suggest that it was Plum, Silver Bullet. Let's see. Plum is not the killer. We don't know who has that card. The Silver Bullet, I don't know if that's the weapon. And I don't know if the kitchen is one of the rooms. So now it's Plum's turn with a roll of 2, which puts him right in the kitchen. He stays in the kitchen. Stays in the kitchen to get something to eat, I guess. Alright, we know that Mrs. White wasn't the killer. As for the steak, I don't know if that's the weapon, and the kitchen is uncertain if that's the room. But right now, my objective, already a 6, okay. I think I'm gonna have to stay in the bedroom, because I need to know if the murder weapon, but I am still going to use Peacock Potion. Oh, so the potion is one of the murder weapons. Now we only got one thing that we need to figure out. Which room? Which room did it take place? And I also had to pay attention to the recorder. So in the bedroom, Mrs. Smith, it was... Okay, so... I have Peach, which means I already know the state is the murder weapon. So, Plum has that card. This is where it gets a little bit nerve-wracking, because now I know two things. The killer and the weapon. The only thing that's left is the room itself. It gets a bit tricky. It's torch. Alright, let's continue further. Don't know if the issues was that I have to update this. For now, Colonel Mustard is headed to the kitchen. There is a possibility that the kitchen could be one of these rooms, but we don't know exactly if it's it. So I might have to go to the kitchen next. I might have to go to the kitchen to see if that is the room. Because it looks like we have one empty spot left. And apparently it's the kitchen. We all know Green didn't do it. And that the steak, I don't know why I keep saying this, but you know. In the main entrance, it is green with the silver bullet. Green probably has the silver bullet and the main entrance. Because Plum has the Mr. Green card. So why is he accusing him? Doesn't make any sense. Alright, I'm still in the bedroom, which means I have to go to the kitchen. That's a 4. Which is not a good number, but I get to go to the library or the kitchen. I prefer the kitchen because we still have one more empty box left that has not been crossed out. I want to see if that is the room where it takes place. But I'm still using Peacock with the torch thing. Oh my goodness. It is. So now, trying to be careful, making my final accusation as the vampire Scarlet. It was I, Miss Scarlet, the vampire. Killed Mr. Body with a potion. What kind of potion? A potion that ended Mr. Body's life, and it took place in the kitchen. Alright, let's see if this is accurate. Yes. Alright. Oh my goodness. It looks like Miss Scarlet, played by me, is getting arrested, but in a different police department. because it has something to do with spooky stuff. But regardless of that, I won again, even though I put it on easy difficulty. But that's because when you put it on medium or hard, they get very smart. And I wanted to finish with this game as soon as possible. So now it took 5 turns, 20 minutes and 8 seconds. And that's technically about it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so that is it for part 4. Next time on Let's Play Clue, or also known as Cluedo, we'll be headed to the Snowy Peaks. So until then, stay safe, stay healthy, be kind to others, and most importantly, have a wonderful, blessed